Greetings to our viewing audience. This is Miko Evans
Michael Harn.
and you're getting ready to view a new episode of Meek Pro Media Special Edition News right at Pride Month. Yeah! Greetings to our viewing audience and happy Pride Month. This is Miko Evans, the founder of the world's first LGBTQ exclusive talent agency and production company. You're tuned in to another new end of spring episode of Meek Pro Media Special Edition News, where we give you the very best in community news, interviews, and everything that's going on within the LGBTQ plus community. For more information about how you can actually continue to support our show, how you can be a guest on our show as well, don't forget to subscribe at the bottom here, and don't forget to check out all of the information that's located at the bottom of your screen. You can always give us a call and a shout out on our toll free office hotline at 1-855 Meek Pro. Once again, that's 1-855 632 5776. And as always, I always get happy and excited when I get guests to come into our studio and we don't have to do no Zoom stuff.
Not these days.
Okay, shout out to my boy Michael Harn from the Entrepreneur Source here to just do a little chat with us to tell us about his little testimony and coming out story and how he got started in entrepreneurship and everything. So what's going on, Michael?
Thank you for having me, Miko. This is such a pleasure, such an honor. I met you back at one of the Business Exchange Network meetings, and that's where we first started to see each other out on the networking circuit.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad that you had me in today.
Yeah, I'm glad that you agreed to even come aboard and stuff. Like I said, this is just so exciting because you and I kind of share a lot of consulting services that we do and everything. Because I started doing entrepreneurial consulting back when I first started my business back in what? Yeah, that was 15. No, let me take that back. I'm aging myself. That was 30 years ago. Yeah, I am that old. That was 30 years ago. Actually, this year, I celebrate 30 years of entrepreneurship. So it's just always good to see other entrepreneurs just doing their thing. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Let's get into your background. Where are you originally from?
So originally I'm from South Carolina, and I grew up in North Augusta, which is right across from the Augusta, Georgia area. And I grew up there my entire life. We never moved. My mom is still in the same house that my parents bought right before they got married when they were 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all the history is there. Their parents were there, and then from that point on, it was, scattered around South Carolina too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I don't know if you get this question a lot and everything, but being born and raised in the South and stuff, how was it for you growing up and realizing that you was different?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to be brief because I could go on a long story.
Oh, we got time. Go ahead.
But to be honest, I didn't know I was different. Other people knew I was different before I did.
I can relate to that.
I have a story that my mom told me, and she would die if I told it, but I'm going to. So brace yourself if you hear this, Mom. She told me one of my aunts one time came to her and said that me and one of my cousins from another aunt were going to grow up gay. And my mom, Southern Baptist,
yes,
my family is rooted in Christianity. She was so appalled.
Oh, wow.
Just couldn't believe it. Never told me that till years and years and years after I came out.
Wow.
And then finally admitted to me that one of my aunts saw it in me before I even knew. And I would say I was probably a teenager before I even had different feelings that I thought were awkward or different because of the way I was taught. I was thinking, this is different. I always thought I was going to grow up have a wife and kids. Me and one of my best friends in high school, our plan was to have separate driveways, like one
Mm-hmm.
driveway that just went to two houses, and we were going to have our families there.
Mm-hmm.
I kept pushing down everything that I was feeling because of Southern Baptist
Yes.
and growing up in the South, and my family just we always I never had any models or any role models or any vision of possibly being with a male
Mm-hmm.
in life, like.
Absolutely.
But I had this odd feeling, and I just thought it was a phase. I thought it was going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
I kept telling
Mm-hmm.
myself till I was 19. I was like, "This is, I'll get over it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just go away."
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yeah, I
about?
know exactly what you're
Okay,
talking about.
yeah. And so, I mean, I had girlfriends. I forced myself to do that side of
Mm-hmm.
what everybody else did,
Mm-hmm.
and what I thought. And then a friend of mine invited me over to his house. He was a friend from high school. I was in college. He's like, "Hey, come over. We're gonna go out."
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, "Okay, sure." I come over. When I get there, we're going to a gay bar.
No.
Oh no! I was 19, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't old enough to even get in. He's like,
Uh-huh.
"Don't worry, we got this all figured out."
Yeah.
And then I got to finally see, for the first time ever, really, I got to see people living their true selves, living out loud, living their life the way they felt right inside, So that's when I started going, "Oh crap, I got to tell my girlfriend, I got to tell my parents, I got to tell everybody," because now I see that it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't know it was possible before, so I was trying my best to get rid of it.
You know what? One of the reasons why I love these stories is because, growing up in the Confederate South, you're thinking that you're by yourself when it comes to this. And because I had, a similar
Mm-hmm.
experience. And of course, it was a different dynamic because I'm a person of color, but
Yeah.
it was sort of around the same thing because, like, in the Confederate South, the Bible Belt, that was the norm for many of us
Yeah.
who are LGBTQ, regardless of your race or culture, Southern Baptist or white evangelical, Pentecostal, apostolic, we all had that same type of upbringing, especially if you come from like early millennial and Gen X, because I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
And that was the norm. It's like, you had no choice but to be in the closet. You was actually forced in because there wasn't that many examples around you at that time until somebody might have introduced you to it. So yeah, I can relate to that.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is not my story, so I don't want to share any names or anything, but I have multiple people who
Mm-hmm.
have reached out to me from back home. And if you ever see this, just know that we support you, even though
Mm-hmm.
you've chosen not to come out. So many people have reached out and said, "I cannot believe you are living your life the way you wanted to and the way that you are because of the fact that I couldn't. I have
Mm-hmm.
a wife and kids, and I cannot believe." And this is multiple people
Mm-hmm.
today who are married with kids and living a whole different life than what they were meant to live.
Absolutely.
They forced themselves
Mm-hmm.
and hid behind church and religion
Mm-hmm.
and are still hiding today. And some of them will say, when my child turns when my youngest turns 18, I'm going to come out. They never do.
Mm-hmm.
They're too ingrained, and we've got too many people involved. You've had kids now. You have a wife. You have that wife's family. You have your family. It becomes so difficult when you don't do it at a younger age, or when
Mm-hmm.
you don't realize it at a younger age. And I feel so sad for those people. Many of them have good lives. Some of them don't. Some of them are dealing with drug abuse and other things because of the fact that they can't live their true self.
Mhm. You know what? Thank you so much for sharing that because we still fail to forget, and I think sometimes in our community that we still have people dealing with,
Yeah.
um, this issue of actually coming out because of our upbringing, and a lot of it was not our fault. Because this was all we had. This was all that was presented to us, and everybody that grew up in a progressive city, who might have had more opportunities to come out sooner or to be themselves sooner. Don't realize that those in the suburban areas and those in the deep south, we had to struggle a whole lot, a little bit more. deep.
yeah.
Than everyone else that probably grew up in more progressive cities. So thank you so much for sharing that, because
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of people still think that yeah, times have changed, but there's some areas within our country that's still stuck in the past,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and religion play a big part of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Travel, get outside of your small town.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Everybody that I'm talking about is still in that small town.
Mm-hmm.
If you expand your horizons, if you push outside of your comfort zone, and we're going to talk about these things when we talk about entrepreneurship, because a
Yeah.
lot of it aligns. If you don't push through your comfort zone and learn about other people in other ways and grow, you
Mm-hmm.
will stay stuck.
Absolutely.
And that's where those people are today. And I'm so glad I didn't stay stuck. I went to college, I traveled, I got outside of my own town as fast as I could,
Mm-hmm.
and I lived my true self, my true life. And I am so happy now to have a partner of 10 years. Next month, we
Mm-hmm.
celebrate 10 years of starting to date. We have a great life together, and I'm so happy that this is where it led.
Very fortunate, brother, to even have that. Even to be in a relationship
Yeah.
in today's time in gay years, to last for 10 years in gay years
Oh,
is a
yeah.
blessing. Okay.
It sure is. It sure is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? On that note, I think this will be a great segue for us to go into our only commercial break. When we come back, we have more good stories, good testimonies right here with Michael Harn, right
Hey.
here on one of our end of spring episodes of Meek Pro Media Special Edition News. Don't go anywhere. We have more in store. You're tuned in to Meek Productions syndicated shows. Don't go anywhere. We do have more in store.
I'm Ronnie Bass. I'm the founder and executive director of Someone Cares Inc. of Atlanta.
As a trusted mental health and HIV testing center in the state of Georgia for over 23 years, Someone Cares of Atlanta offers a safe, welcoming space for everyone seeking support and care. Whether you're looking for primary care, specialized treatment, support for mental health challenges and domestic violence, or STD testing and treatment, Someone Cares is here to walk with you on your journey to a healthier, happier life. Also, their new fully licensed on-site pharmacy is available to all patients and members of the broader Atlanta community. For more information on hours of operation, please visit www.s1catl.org. Once again, that's S1catl.org, or call 678-661-5227.
Hey there, this is George Carlton, President of the Metro Atlanta Association of Professionals. Are you looking to expand your business, seeking employment connections, or want to grow your professional network but don't love traditional networking? The MAP is right for you. As Atlanta's first LGBTQ+ business association, we pioneered partnerships and networking with Atlanta's leading changemakers to help you connect authentically, in person and online, with people from diverse industries, identities, and histories. For more information about membership and being part of our legacy, visit our website at www.maapatl.org. Once again, that's mapatl.org. We look forward to connecting with you real soon.
Meek Productions is proud to be an official media partner for this organization.
That's 100.
And we're back with the last half of our end of spring episode right here on Meak Pro Media Special Edition News. This is just one of many. We have a couple of more end of spring episodes and stuff before we get to the official first day of summer, which is coming later this month. So please stay tuned. Don't forget to check out all of the information that's located at the bottom of your screen. Let's get back to our boy, Michael HARN.
Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk about what inspired you to go into entrepreneurship. Let's back up a little bit. What was your major in college? And of course, which school did you go to?
So I went to USC in Aiken, South Carolina. So it was a branch of USC. And I majored in communications and a minor in studio art. And I wanted to be a graphic designer.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
industry.
I got out of school. Yeah, especially now. You kept it going though. I jumped ship. So right out of college, I was offered a job with a billboard company being a graphic designer and a job at a Sprint store selling cell phones.
Wow.
The same base pay, but the cell phones came with commission.
And
I had bills to pay out of college. So I took the money over the experience.
Oh, cool.
And I got into wireless, and I spent 24 years in the wireless industry. I left twice, and I came right back, but I went for 24 years with wireless right out of college, and I worked in Sprint stores. I ended up in marketing. I ended up working for an OEM, a manufacturer of phones, another one, and then I ended up finally with a distributor of Boost Mobile. We had 3,000 distribution points, not all Boost Mobile stores, but other distribution points tied together. And I was the director of go-to-market for all of our training, communications, marketing, and real estate.
My mom's been with Boost Mobile for years. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I remember my very first Sprint phone because it was through my business. When I started my business, I got it through a business account. I remember my first Sprint phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I still have T-Mobile today simply because I've had Sprint all my life.
Yeah.
I started in a Sprint store, and everything else I did was kind of tied to the Sprint world because Boost was owned by Sprint for a while until the T-Mobile. So through all these mergers and acquisitions I'm talking about, I was laid off 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah. I got lucky sometimes, walking through one door into another one and getting hired the next day by the new company. Those were the lucky ones. But sometimes it was rough. Sometimes I was out there for months at a time in between jobs. My most recent layoff, I'd been there 10 years and been told I was part of the family and that I would be one of the last men standing no matter what happened. Well, when someone says you're part of the family, I don't know if it's really true, you know, especially from my experience. So what I learned was how to navigate layoffs. And I had done it many times before. And so on LinkedIn, I was writing all these articles about what I'm doing with my time, what I'm doing outside of looking for a job. Do I want to become an entrepreneur or an employee or all this good stuff? And someone reached out to me. A phone call came in from this lady. She's like, hey, do you want to talk to this guy? He might be a good coach for you to explore entrepreneurship. And I was like, I wasn't serious. I was just kidding. Like, I was just considering it. And she's like, well, you should just have a call. He ended up being a coach like me.
Wow.
And so I went through the program at the Entrepreneur Source, and I learned all about the different avenues, the different pathways you could take, like buying a business, starting your own business, going into franchising. There's all kinds of avenues people can explore. And so I went down the franchise path just because I wanted to be in business for myself, but not necessarily all by myself. You're doing it by yourself, and you're doing a great job, but I just wasn't ready for that. And everybody's different. You know, some people... Not at all. You should not be an entrepreneur at all.
That's right. Because entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart, baby.
No.
You have to be destined for it.
No, that roller coaster is rough.
Oh, yes, it is.
So I chose franchising as my path I wanted to explore. I looked at about 4 different businesses, and then I said, hey, coach, I think I could do what you do. He says, oh, you'd be great at this. And so he introduced me to the Entrepreneur Source, and I went down the path with them. And I am a franchisee of the Entrepreneur Source, doing business as them.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. What was it about the Entrepreneur Source that really gave you that spark to really go forward?
So the development team sent me a video from Simon Sinek about finding your purpose or your why. And so I was like, yeah, I don't really know why I'm exploring this yet. I watched the video, thought nothing of it, and I was like, but I do need to figure this out. And so I went back and I watched the video again, and I said, I've been writing all those articles about my layoff, how to navigate a layoff, what I've been doing with my time. Maybe I am trying to help other people that way
Absolutely.
navigate their time off, because a big chunk of us got laid off together. And you know, and I wasn't writing about marketing or communications or real estate. I wasn't writing about anything that I was doing in my profession. So maybe it was time for a pivot. And so I was like, that's my why. I want to help other people navigate this and get through, change their lives and become entrepreneurs. I really want to do that. And so that's when I went all in. I burned the ship, dove in head first into entrepreneurship with this and helping other people do it. So I'm like doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, because I want to help as many people as possible learn that there are ways outside of W-2 life. Break that out of that comfort zone, start learning something new. Because when you start feeling the growing pains, it's when you really are growing.
I think everything that you're saying is really right on time with the current, not just with the current climate politically, but I'm talking about even what's going on in the entire business and economic development sector, especially as it relates to technology and as it relates to AI. And so I want to get your take on, as we get ready to end our show, I want to get your take on how do you feel AI is going to impact various industries, especially as it relates to corporate America, and why it's very important for many people to start considering owning a small business or doing something on the side to supplement their income.
Yeah. So two different ways to think about it. First of all, my thought is AI is not going to take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI is going to take your job. So utilizing AI and knowing what the benefits can be and where it can help you in your business is a big deal. You really need to focus on how can you leverage it.
Absolutely.
Not how can you run away from it.
Absolutely.
That's the last thing you do. You need to work through it and go through it and learn it and find out ways to apply it.
Because the future is here.
Yeah. And then the other side of that, like the industries and things, the jobs that might get taken by AI or people who know how to use AI are not going to be the plumber.
It's not going
to be the dog groomer. It's not going to be the gym. The person who is actually standing, like, there's some ways that AI could help you train or you could learn personal things to do at home. But if you need structure in a class to go to and time scheduled and supervision, that's not going to come from AI. So there's a lot of things that are out there that are not soft skills that AI could possibly put together or hard skills they could put together. But all those services that people provide that AI can't physically do, that's a lot of what we offer our clients.
Absolutely. And because even robotics is actually being added into that too. But robotics right now is not as advanced as we see in the movies yet. So there's still going to be a huge need for human input. Regardless of how advanced technology may be, we're still going to need human input to monitor how AI operates and even how robotics is actually incorporated into everyday life.
And a big piece of this is you don't have to run away from your job. You don't have to go all in and be an entrepreneur only. You could become a semi-absentee entrepreneur and start building something slowly while you keep your job. And then you have the security. Some people can't break free.
Absolutely.
They cannot get over the hurdles and the fears completely.
Absolutely.
So they're like, Michael, I got to keep a job.
Yeah.
Fine.
Because they got other responsibilities.
Yeah. Fine. Keep that job. Or they might not have a partner who supports them. They might be single. That's fine. I can find plenty of opportunities. And we actually have some franchises in our network who prefer you to keep your job because then it makes you more successful down the road simply because you're not like freaking out.
Absolutely.
And you're not pulling the plug too soon.
Yeah.
Some of the reasons why people fail in franchising is because they don't capitalize. They don't have enough capital on the front end.
Absolutely.
They run out and they pull the plug 2 months before they would have taken off, 3 months before they would have taken off. And so we really coach them on about making sure they have enough operating capital in order to make it through the ramp up period. That's a big piece of it.
Absolutely. As we close, and as somebody who's been an entrepreneur, like I said, this year's my 30th anniversary, and I'm considering branching out because it has always been my goal to hire staff. But as entrepreneurs get older, and when they consider retirement, I'm actually thinking about the franchise opportunity and franchising certain segments of our business. And to that, how would you consult with someone that's actually in our age bracket, those who are 50 and over, that may be considering retirement?
Yeah.
Because I think franchising will be a great opportunity. That way, the founders of these businesses can still make their revenue income, pass something down to the next generation, but yet the vision is still operating according to its original intent.
Your question is already leading, like, generational wealth.
Yes.
That's a lot of what people want to do. I have 60-year-olds who are taking a assessment from us that we call the U 2.0, the next version of yourself. And I tease them and I go, hey, it's all about what do you want to be when you grow up. They're 60. They're like, they giggle at me and I'm like, I am not kidding. Like, you are about to explore something you've never explored before.
Absolutely.
And you're doing it for the right reasons, because I do work through a goal setting sheet with them. We talk about their time they have to commit to this, their investment level. We talk about all of these details that go into it. And that's what part of my job is, to help them weed out all the noise on the internet, searching 10,000 franchises. You come to me, I can show you 3 based on all this information you provide me. And 96% of our placements go into one of the first 3 we show them. But back to the question was more about our generation getting older and what are they going to do. I have so many people in my book of business that are our age, that are older than us too, who are looking for that next thing after work. Or ageism has really slapped them in the face.
Oh, yes.
And they can't get a job. And they want a job for 5 to 10 more years. They just want to finish out. They've got the energy. People are living longer and more active lives these days. They are wanting something to do with their time, and they want to bring in some income, and they want to possibly have something to give to their kids or their grandkids, generational wealth, or just take the equity out and retire with it. So yeah, there's tons of businesses out there that are great for people who have all that leadership experience from their job. They've got all the management experience. They've really built up a ton of soft skills, and I help them learn how to use those skills differently.
Absolutely. Awesome. Let's go into this little presentation you got here for me.
You a present. This is a deck of cards, and there's different sayings and quotes and everything that we kind of live by at the Entrepreneur Source. It says extraordinary ideas for extraordinary people. I think of you as an extraordinary person.
Oh, wow.
And you are always sharing at all these meetings. You always have lots of nuggets of sayings and things, and I pick up some of them. But I brought a few, and I picked out a few of these for you. One says, you can cling to the present or create a new future.
Oh,
so
confirmation. Confirmation.
Yeah. And then another one I'll read you, and this will be the last one. Transformation begins when you look beyond your current situation
to see what could be. Wow. Yeah. Validation and confirmation again. Keep reading.
There's a ton. Okay.
Keep reading.
This is a good one. Just because others don't understand where you are going does not mean the destination does not exist. See your future.
All of this is validation and confirmation.
Do you really want the rest of
these? I want the rest of these.
All right. The only way to deal with change is to feel the fear and go through it anyway. Break through that comfort zone. And that's what I help my clients do.
This right here, the reason why this one is specifically is so much validation and confirmation is because I'm doing what they call shadow work. And that's what this is. This is shadow work all the way. And in order to do that, remember, everywhere you go, when the light shines, there's a shadow behind you. And that shadow represents your past, your mistakes, shortcomings. It represents all of that, your trauma. It represents that. And in order for you to get to that next level, you have to sit in your mess. You have to sit in all of that stuff. I mean, you can't break free from it. One thing that I've learned, and I'll be 54 in November, one thing that I've learned in my 50 years is that you get away with nothing in the cosmos. Everything you did in the past is going to come back one way or another. So it's best to face those fears, face those mistakes, because there are a lot of lessons in those. So yes, this came right on time. It's about do that shadow work, baby, because that shadow work is not going nowhere. You got to face it.
And I'm going to finish with this one. So a life-changing moment happens when you take that first step and do something
different.
So don't look for that next job only. look for the next job, but also call me and let me help you try to look at it differently.
Absolutely.
What's possible? You don't know until you explore it. And that's what I help my clients do.
And as the late Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, when you change the way you look at things, then the things you look at will change. That was a great way.
I told you got all those nuggets.
That this was a great way to end this show. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Michael.
I appreciate the time. Thank you
This
for
is
having me.
tell your hubby I said hello.
I
I know
will.
he see this right now.
He will.
Hey. And for more information about how you can reach Michael Harn, please tell us your social media outlets and every outlet where people can reach you.
You can Google Michael Harn. It's HARN. And it'll come up with LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm on all of them. But if you just do linkedin.com and then search for Michael Harn, you'll find me. You could go to michaelharn.com.
Mm-hmm.
You could go to my website, which is more difficult. So just go to michaelharn.com and it'll navigate you over to my professional site.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
And once again, for more information about how you can be a special guest on our show, please do not forget to check out the information that's located at the bottom of your screen. And for those people that want to check out everything that happened this recent past weekend when I was in Orlando, Florida, for another session of One Magical Weekend, they were the official kickoff party this year for World Pride. So if you want to check out all of the footage that we got over the past weekend, please go to our Instagram page, go to our TikTok page, because all of that is uploaded right now, and you can be able to check out all of that information that's located at the bottom of your screen. Until our next episode, we have a couple of more end of spring episodes to show you. So please stay tuned. Thank you once again, Mike.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
See you all next time, and happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.